Grand Prix show jumping is not for the faint of heart, and in today's show, you'll meet...
Great. This is Unbridled with Susan Kayne at Hits on the Hudson in Saugerties, New York. Presented by Thoroughbred. Family owned and operated since 1949. Thoroughbred produces specially designed horseshoes, racing plates, and therapeutic products to enhance equine performance. Learn more at thoroughbredinc.com.
Born in Pasadena, California in 1959, Ann Kursinski has represented the United States for over 30 years. While still in high school in 1978, she competed on the U.S. Nations Cup team at Spruce Meadows in Canada. 5 years later, she won individual and team gold medals in the Pan American Games, and that same year, she became the first American and first woman to win the Grand Prix of Rome.
I love Rome. I was just in Rome, and that is a beautiful, beautiful place and very special. I won the Grand Prix of Rome there on Livius in 1983.
Her career includes participation on 5 U.S. Olympic teams, 3 U.S. World Equestrian Game teams, 47 U.S. Nations Cup teams, and 10 World Cup finals. She has won the Grand Prix of Aachen, Rome, and Monterrey, and she has earned 2 Olympic team silver medals.
And I turn to Leslie and I grab her and I say, we have to win. We have to win the gold medal. It was just this contagious sort of thing. I mean, it was pretty funny.
Along with these accolades, she is a beloved teacher, author, and clinician. I'm Susan Kayne. When Unbridled returns, join me in conversation with one of America's most accomplished and respected show jumping athletes.
Well, I was 4 years old, a little girl, and my mother took me to the Flint Ridge Riding Club in Pasadena, California, and to start riding lessons.
Hi, I'm Lisa Molloy, and I run Lisa Molloy Training Stables here in Suffolk, Virginia. I take horses for 3 different registered charities: Aikendale Thoroughbred Rescue, Turning for Home, and Rerun. I started galloping thoroughbreds back when I was 16 years old, and I worked for one of the top steeplechase trainers in Europe, Jimmy Fitzgerald. Since moving to the United States, I've worked with reining horses, cutting horses, world champion rope horses, Western pleasure horses, polo, and once again back with thoroughbreds. My favourite part of this industry is taking a horse that's for want of a better word, been discarded, and turning it around and placing it in a really, really good home with someone that prizes it just as highly as they would prize Frankel if he was in there still. We take these horses and we retrain them for second careers. We always have a vast array of horses available for adoption, and they range from 2-year-olds with no injuries to war horses, to horses that have had surgery and come back from rehab. And we have something for everybody, from upper level competition to someone just wanting a family horse or a trail horse. I became involved in the rehabilitation and retraining of thoroughbreds approximately 5 years ago, and in that time I would estimate that I've placed in the region of 450 horses over the years. I keep 18 horses at any one time, and although not all of them will be listed on my website, there are always horses up and coming that will be available shortly. And to certain experienced homes, I might let the horses go a little earlier, if we feel that they're the right match. Ultimately, our main goal is to place these horses in long-term, permanent, kind, loving homes well, they'll get a chance to excel at a different career.
Our viewers would like to get to know the woman behind the winning horses. So I'm hoping we can start at the beginning and you could tell us how your affection for horses began.
Well, I was 4 years old, a little girl, and my mother took me to the Flint Ridge Riding Club in Pasadena, California, and to start riding lessons. And mother had ridden, on the East Coast, and that's how it started, and just really a love for the animals ever since I was little.
Did it just take root with you at the first touch of a horse?
I think it did. They are such amazing animals. They give so much. And as a little girl, the freedom, then probably power to be able to control them, all those kinds of things that they do for a child. And of course, all the relationship, taking care of it and getting to know it. And it's your best friend, growing up. And they're still my best friends, I have to say, many of them. And the competitive part of it, yes, but always the love for the animal and probably becoming one with the horse, even as a little kid. Just the feeling and the freedom and the abandonment, and it's an amazing thing.
As a youngster, what were your riding experiences like?
Well, started at the riding club and, taking the lessons, sort of probably one lesson a week, and then a couple more lessons a week, and riding school horses, wonderful, wonderful school horses. Riding at club horse shows that the riding club had. As 11 years old, got my very first horse, an ex-race horse, some Thoroughbred, and as I say, the being competitive to get better. I mean, that part, and it's funny though, I never thought I really was competitive, but now that I'm older and look back, but to be better, always how can I be better? How can I improve? Taking the lessons, and so that part of it, I think started for sure as being a young child. The camaraderie with the other kids, I mean, it was a wonderful environment to grow up in, all the children and all the horses, and the ups and the downs, and the not being able, stopping and falling off, and all the things that little kids that you do to learn, but always trying to impress the teacher and always trying to be better, and how can I do it better? And that was, as I say, kind of through 11, 12 years old. Then I began riding with Jimmy Williams. The beginner teacher left, and so it was off to Jimmy, and that was like, wow, he was a real god in California, and his, of course, his assistants, not Jimmy probably so much. But again, to be better, how can I be sort of better? So taking the lessons, and then with him, Jimmy had all this cowboy psychology and getting inside the horses. And he could get a horse to do anything, to lay down, to roll a barrel with its nose, to jump higher, to all kinds of interesting, neat things. And I was going to learn to do that. I was going to, real horse whisperer kind of guy. And so again, the competitive part, and he saw that I had talent, I guess. And I was a barn rat. I was at the barn all day and all night, as much as I could be after school, on the weekends. And because of that, I got to ride more horses. I got to walk hot horses when I was little, and just, some inside, desire, and to learn and be better. And how did he do that? I'm going to do that. How did he, I want to get my horse to roll the barrel with its nose, or those kinds of things. So a curiosity, fascination with the horse.
And in all of the stories that I've read about you, one stands out. I don't know if it's rumor or if it's truth. It was during your years with Jimmy Williams that he used to have you jump blindfolded in a chute.
Yes.
Is that true? And what was that experience like?
Yeah, Jimmy had us do all kinds of crazy things, people would say today. But yes, jumping blindfolded in a chute, it was exciting. It was probably a little scary. More than anything, teaching you balance and trust. Trust in him, of course, and he was the riding master, and knew what he was doing and had done it before. And in fact, Jimmy learned it during the Second World War. He was in a remount in Italy, and he learned to show jump actually in Italy. He had been a Western trainer before that. And so to teach the 2-point and the jumping position, to put you in the 2-point and go with the horse and not telling the horse what to do. And so we free jumped hundreds of horses at Flint Ridge. He had this loose jumping chute. And to see how horses jump and how they find the distance, and they know more about jumping than we do. They know naturally, God gave it to them. So it was to teach you to be in a jumping position in the 2-point, trust your horse, the horse would find the distance, and that we develop balance. You know, if you got a little left back, you know, maybe you would fall off. I mean, I don't think anybody ever fell off, but it taught you your center of gravity and trust, which I think is a huge, huge thing in riding and with your horses.
Stay tuned. When Unbridled returns, more insights with Ann Kursinski.
They have the same issue, the lead change or jump to the corner. I can really tell you so often you can trace it right back here, whether it's mental or physical, but of course I believe it's the combination.
Coming up later in the show,
Is there any way to put into words what that felt like to you?
To feel like, you know, almost magical in a funny way, because you really become part of the horse. This almost like an amusement ride in that sense. And really it taught you, you know, feeling. I mean, that's the other thing, probably trust, even more so feeling, because you have no visual aids. Yes, you had sound, because the horse is hitting the ground, but really feeling. And Jimmy was all about learning, trying to teach feeling.
What did you feel just preceding the takeoff that was different from the previous strides?
The horse setting himself, you know, really the sense of the horse setting himself. And, you know, in a funny way, almost probably imagining him seeing the jump. You know, no, I couldn't see it, but you can feel the horse set himself and find the distance. And I would love to do it someday, maybe have a shoot at my farm. I don't know if everyone would think it was crazy to blindfold people, but it's a wonderful exercise.
With all of your experience, is that a feeling that stays with you to this day?
Absolutely. I think the balance and the with the horse and the trusting the horses, oh, no question. You know, so many of those kinds of experiences that I had, it is what made me who I am today. And people say, oh, you have excellent balance or you have excellent feeling. And I have to say, so much of that came from my early years, I think, of just these kind of amazing experiences.
Would you say that that is part of what has given you a competitive edge in the show ring?
I think so. I think a lot of those, you know, these qualities that I have, but I do believe, maybe I was born with some of them, but I think they were developed, you know, through some of his ways.
Through those early years and your development, was there a defining moment that you said, I want to ride and be the best rider?
Oh, defining moment to be the best. I think it was always part of me to try to be, how can I be better? And Jimmy was interesting because he had Susie Hutchison, he had myself, he had other girls in there that worked for him. And there was a healthy competition, I have to say. And I adored Susie, we were best friends, we're still good friends today. But to be better, you know, can I beat her in the ring? Can I be better? So it was quite a healthy competition, but that to be the best. Probably one of the times I think Susie did, I was still a junior, I think I was 17, Susie broke her leg and I got to show, I was still a junior, and I got to show a lot of Jimmy's best horses. You know, and that sort of helped make a name for myself. And yes, we were good friends and she came back from her broken leg, but one of those kind of, wow, I get to do it. I get to show some open jumpers and I get to show some of the open hunters. And so that was kind of a breakthrough. But I think it was always something inside of me to try to be the best.
What are some of the things that you do to keep your competitive edge as time goes by?
Yeah, I've been very fortunate to have been quite healthy, knock on wood, and I'm always thankful for that. I do like to go to the gym since maybe the 80s, maybe before it was such a big fitness craze. In the 88 kind of Olympic year, really started going to the gym rather regularly. I mean, again, we get so busy showing it's hard, but 2 days, some days 5 days a week, it depends. And finally actually met up with a personal trainer 4 or 5 years ago through a friend who was getting ready to run the New York City Marathon. I thought, God, and she was my age, and oh my God, I don't think I could ever do that. And I'd been to 4 Olympic Games, and really got a much more sports-specific plan for riding, working with this Johnny McCulley, who just now has a book out, the Rider's Fitness Program. And I really do believe, I mean, I helped him get the book together and the exercises and being sort of a guinea pig. And he came out and watched us ride, and my students, and really studied it, but how to, again, sports specific, you know, a lot of squats and exercises on unstable environments, whether it be a ball or the discs, working with medicine balls and things, to a little bit replicate, you know, the horse and unstable, you know, kind of environment. So that's, you know, mostly riding, though, I have to say. You know, I do ride. I eat a little better than I used to. Diet I could still work on sometimes. But, you know, my horses have been my teachers. And all of my career to be the best, almost more for my horses, I have to say. You know, yes, to try to get to the Olympics, or to try to get to the World Championships, or to whatever the next big goal was. But how could I really be my best?
Anne is an accomplished author. Her books and DVDs offer practical solutions to everyday problems for the serious rider.
And I have to say, I really do love what I do, and so it never gets old. You know, there's a new horse or a new owner, or going to the gym, or trying something different, working with a different.
Once you started working out in the gym, did you start to feel a difference in your own body when you were riding?
Oh, I think so. Working out in the gym, it was quite interesting because I thought I was always in pretty good shape, but really much better. You know, the balance, and even working with, say, Johnny, you know, he said, you've been to the Olympics, you are good at what you do. Maybe this will make you even better, especially for my students and things, that some are weekend warriors or kids going to school. It will even make a bigger difference, which I certainly did see. But myself, absolutely. Better balance, being a little stronger, definitely the core exercise is stronger. I think the fitness piece just in general, you know, to these long days that we have, or jumping a lot of horses, yeah, feeling great about it, you know, getting a little older and feeling, I sort of wish I had done it when I was younger. And I think also, which I had always had, but becoming the horse. Putting yourself in the horse's shoes, which I've talked about for years, but you know, again, the fitness of the horse, the strength of the horse, the avoiding injury by being fitter, by being stronger. You know, the basic dressage, I worked with Hilda Gurney for years in dressage in California, like going to the gym, like yoga, like Tai Chi, like those kinds of things. Doing the lateral exercises that the horse's stifles are stronger, the back is strong, like our glutes are doing squats, doing lunges and things. So similar. So really becoming the horse, and then again, hopefully less injury, because they're in better shape, we're in better shape.
As you became fitter and more in tune with your body, did you feel a difference in the horse's reaction?
Absolutely as well. I think, again, the coordination, I think I'm pretty coordinated, but everything kind of quicker, more subtle. Again, definitely better centered. I think any kind of doing yoga or anything like that, again, better centered, better equal, balanced, both sides, because we all are right-handed or left-handed. And I really do think the horse is being straighter, feeling that, because it is quite interesting as a rider how often, and a teacher, because I do a lot of teaching, you know, the same girls' horses, all of them maybe are crooked on the same side, or they have the same issue, the lead change or jump to the corner. I can really tell you so often you can trace it right back here, whether it's mental or physical, but of course I believe it's the combination.
how do you maintain a healthy balance between your mental fitness and your physical fitness?
A healthy balance. You know, I love what I do. I love what I do, and I'm so thankful that I've had such a nice long career, and I intend to continue it. Yes, I have to sometimes tell myself I need to stop and take a break because I ride and teach, 6-7 days a week, it seems like. But every day is different. Every experience, every lesson. Maybe I give a lot of clinics in the fall. Before Florida, I do lots and lots of clinics. I love to teach and to see the trends in the country and things. And then I go to Florida, and then it's really about competition. I do some teaching, but no clinics then for 6 months or something. So everything kind of balances itself out. And I have to say, I really do love what I do, and so it never gets old. There's a new horse or a new owner, or going to the gym, or trying something different, working with a different horseman.
Next time on Unbridled.
Both amazing horses, and so thankful to have both of them in my life. But yes, Starman, a big German stallion, definitely sensitive enough, had some thoroughbred blood in him. And Arrows always felt like I was accompanying Arrows, to not get in his way.
That's next week on Unbridled with Susan Kayne.
It's time for Thoro'Talent, Unbridled TV's showcase of the many talents of off-the-track thoroughbreds. From backyard pets to competitive athletic partners to modern-day movie stars, thoroughbreds are changing the lives of people around the world. Today, Thoroughbred salutes the thoroughly talented Fly Lite and her owner, Melissa DiCarlo. The girls first met in 2009 at the Maker's Mark Secretariat Center, where Melissa had just taken a job. Fly Lite was on the end of a tumultuous journey. She was en route to slaughter when fate intervened and she was rescued. Brought to the Secretariat Center, she was adopted, only to then be returned. Melissa volunteered to work with the horse, hoping to find her a forever home. People looked at the talented young filly but turned her down. Melissa could not. She had to adopt the horse she had grown to love. Fly Lite now resides at the Secretariat Center and is a mascot to promote off-the-track thoroughbreds at schools, public venues, and events. And this past year, the beautiful off-the-track thoroughbred was lucky enough to be chosen as a demo horse at the World Equestrian Games. Now that, my friends, is Thoro'Talent.